which causes side effects and problems, and your child will never grow up right. They're always going to have an issue. They're always going to need something or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like we're this nation of drugs, whether they're legal or not. We wake up in the morning, we're like, oh, I'm freaking bored, like the song was saying, you know, we call a friend, hey, you got Loratab, you got Percocet, you got Xanax, I'm bored out of my mind or whatever. And that's actually what people do. Like, that is a thing that seems acceptable to people. Yeah. You know, I'm bored out of my mind, let's ride around and get some Xanax. I'm like, what? I loathe the fact that I have to take one just to sleep. And you're out here like partying it up thinking it's a great thing. That mentality is, in my opinion, I try not to make everything a conspiracy theory, but I think there was a reason on the grander scale of things that started to happen in this country.
Right.
And the implications of it terrifies me. So now the people that actually need that stuff are so deep into it because they're actually given more than what they what they need.
Right.
To hold them down even farther. And I've been one of those people. You know, I was on all these medicines, like my entire desktop could be covered with meds. And I looked at it one day and I was like, no, I feel worse. I've got more illnesses. I've got more diseases that came from these pills. You know, I've got all these other problems. Then this disease came from before pills for this disease and all this crap.
Yep.
And I tossed them all. You know, I have the ones I have to take or else I die. Those are important. Because I don't have a thyroid. So obviously without thyroid hormones, you're dead. You know, and my inhalers because lungs don't work right. But it's just to look at me being the age I am and seeing that, I can't imagine being the kids coming up after us.
Yeah.
You know, that are told they have all this shit they don't have. And then the meds cause diseases they never would have got otherwise.
Right.
And that terrifies me.
Yeah, I take Xanax for the same reason that you were taking it, is to sleep. You know, it calms me down or whatnot. But I remember, you know, 17, 18, 19 years old, that was the thing, was smoking pot and taking bars. That's what everybody wanted to do. You didn't catch nobody outside doing shit, whatnot. I was like, the hell with that. Me and my first wife, that was my high school sweetheart, was shit. We was camping, we was going all over the fucking place. But, I mean, Xanax is, for a lot of people, if you don't realize this, you need to know this, is if you're taking that medicine for a long, extensive period of time, like 6 months, you can't just come off that shit. You have to wing yourself down just like any other medication. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because I know for a fact. You know, I was stuck on Rear D in Kansas because of my hazmat degree and stuff like that. They needed somebody to be the active motor sergeant. And, you know, I came off cold turkey on my Xanaxes, and I had a fucking seizure in front of my whole fucking company as they were drawing fucking weapons. You want to talk about being embarrassed? They said my first thought was over me. You need to wake the fuck up, you big country bastard. And I looked at him and growled. I was like, oh my God, I wish I had that on tape. But I mean, the simple fact is, I mean, that's not even taught through the doctors. You know, they don't sit there and, they give you this little pamphlet thinking that you're going to read the whole fucking thing.
Oh, but nobody read that shit.
No. And even with these payment, you know, and it doesn't even have to be pain medications. I watched my grandparents go through the same stuff. They were on all these medications, you know, heart medications, lung medications like you are and stuff like this. If their doctor couldn't fill it or if the pharmacy didn't have it, they went through fucking DTs. And I didn't understand that until I got, you know, well, not the age now, but, you know, maybe about 8 years younger. And I started to understand because of taking stuff in the military. I'm just like, wow, okay, hold the fuck up. Now I'm understanding.
Well, your body reaches that point where it can't function without it because it's causing other crap to do stuff it shouldn't do.
That's right.
It's just a perpetual cycle, and it's insanity, but on the other hand, it can't be argued sometimes because you need something. But you got to go way back to, well, why do I need it at all? What started the problem that created all this crap that made you even invent this fucking medication to begin with?
Exactly.
People need to start going back, and I think this country is headed for a crash course of fuck everything unless people start going backwards.
You know,
I truly, in this case, believe that.
And that's a lot of what I put in my motivational speeches whenever I'm out and about is, you know, when we were in Pinnacle, North Carolina with Madison Rising, what was it, about 3-4 weeks ago now? You know, that's one thing I told everybody that was out there. It was one big-ass fucking patriot thing. We had BLM came out and took off their shit, came and fucking mingled with us, fucking ate with us. I mean, we had people of all fucking races. And I was like, you know what? I like seeing this because it reminds me of an old school fucking neighborhood cookout. Everybody coming together, having fun, eating food, partying, you know, listening to some badass music, and everybody able to go home and nobody fucking gets hurt. And that's a lot of what I put in my fucking speeches is trying to get people to think like we used to back in the day. You know, all the grown-ups nowadays, me, you, Chris, everybody else, it's our turn to fucking lead everybody. You know what I mean? We still got our fucking people up in office. Okay, big fucking deal. We're out here in the real world, you know, trying to handle our kids and make sure everything else goes the way it should be. And that's the truth. We do need to think about the old days that we were coming up. You know, the video games and stuff like that. Parents, take the video games away from your kids, man. If you want a babysitter, go buy them a fucking bike, a basketball goal, a skateboard, a fishing pole, something to do outside. You know, get them to get their friends up and go play some football or something. Jesus, I miss scraping my fucking knees up and hitting the damn ground and fucking diving into a swimming pool. I'd rather do that shit all damn day long instead of sitting in front of a fucking TV with, you know, a video game controller in my hand or so doped up out of my fucking medication I can't fucking move. I don't know about y'all, but I love outdoors.
That's exactly what it is. It's like, I don't blame video games. I mean, my kids play them, you know, but limit shit.
Yeah.
Pay attention, you know. Even when I was little, we had video games. I didn't play them often.
Oh, yeah.
But they were there, you know, if it was raining or it was, you know, the end of the day or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But, I mean, there's so many things that have led us to where we are now that there is no one thing that can fix it.
No,
it's
there's
gone
not.
from a world of, and I've had this argument with certain people before, even especially family members, that it's like, you know, you need to take your kids to these things and put them in these things and take them here and socialize and this and that. And
right.
I realized a long time ago, because I was that soccer mom, always, for like the longest time before I got sick. My kids' reactions to things now that were more homebound because I homeschool and I'm sick and, you know, I don't drive or whatever. Mm. They react to life completely differently than they did when they were socializing every day. Right. The word socializing actually terrifies the shit out of me. I'm watching videos of 7-year-olds pulling box cutters to full-grown adults, cussing them, calling them the N-word and stuff. Jesus. That's society. That's what's happening in the world. And I'm not saying, you know, helicopter parent or anything, because I don't do that either. You know, it's like, oh, you busted your kneecap on the ground. Well, get up and shake that shit off. Yep. I'm not one of those sensitive parents, but they created such a world of sensitivity and drugs and PC crap, and everybody can do what they want, act how they want, because if you tell them not to say certain words, you tell them not to act a certain way, you're being racist or whatever. Yeah. Look, I grew up for 4 important years of my life in Albuquerque, New Mexico, surrounded by gang members, okay?
Right.
Even that is no longer the same, and I'm not promoting gangs at all, by no means, but we didn't have, like you see in Chicago and Detroit and all that, like the gangs had their issues with each other, but it didn't, like, spill out into the families and the neighborhoods and everywhere else. They kept that shit to themselves.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we still went outside and had fun and played and did stuff. Nobody messed with us. We weren't, you know, like you can't walk down the street now without someone wanting to cut your throat because you have hoop earrings in and somebody thinks you're appropriating someone else's culture. Oh my God, really? Like humanity is an appropriation of culture.
Right.
Get over it. Like, oh, that's always been a thing.
Right. And I had to agree with Deborah on this. It's like, you know, kids not playing outside has limited the imagination. Kids have to be entertained instead of entertaining themselves. I agree with that. And just like you sis with my kids here, they see the so-called limitations that I have nowadays, but they still remember what it was like to play with Dad when he had both his legs, being able to run and jump over fences and shit like that. The kids if you keep your kids on that path, then it's really, I think personally, it's easy to keep them on it because that's what they're used to. Yeah, my son and my daughter, they go freaking stir crazy if they're in a house too damn long. They can't stand it. They got to be outside. My daughter, I can't run up and down the court and shit no more, but I still go outside and play basketball with her. Hell yeah, she got a damn good shot. I mean, I love to have them outside. Deborah, you're exactly right about that. It does. It limits the imagination. Jeez, how many times have people our age went outside and pretended to be freaking He-Man or She-Ra or Ninja Turtles or whatever the fucking case may be, having fun? I mean, you just don't see that no more.
Well, and seeing that goes to the schools and the medication and recess and so many things that they have done to create these children of mass robotic intelligence. Basically, it's do what you're taught, and that's where it ends.
Right.
Do what we tell you to do. Do it how we tell you to do it, when we tell you to do it, and it's such a conformist little ball of communism in my book. It's like you got a kid that's extra hyper or can't focus on something you're trying to teach or whatever, give him a pill.
Right.
Well, then you have a day in school that's 8 hours, and you used to have like 6 different recess times, of like 30 minutes at a time or whatever.
Right.
20 minutes here, depending on the school. And now you literally have like 1 or 2 times where they're allowed to go outside, and it's for like 5 minutes at a time.
Right.
And then they go home, and it's like, then they're on their other pill that they have to take to come off of the other pill so that they can sleep. So they're not wanting to go outside because they're coming down off of this other crap. And then you put a video game in front of them because they can focus on it, and there's enough going on that it makes their brain pay sole attention to it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. It's all been done for a reason. None of this happened by accident. It's not like kids just became zombies for no fucking reason.
No,
they've been created that way.
You're right.
And adults have fallen into allowing it because our lives have gotten busier. You have to work more hours for less pay. You have to do more stuff for school stuff to keep you busy. You have to do all this running around and shit. People don't even have time to be, back in the old day, it was like, they're all at home, they work together, they learn together, they live together. That's how they learned how to socialize. You can't tell me that little house on the prairie lifestyle is wrong nowadays when that's how we got here to begin with.
That's right.
That's how it was, and we were successful from that.
That's right.
So
we were.
By not going back to that, we're making a mistake. And I'm not saying nobody socializes with anybody. That's not what I mean.
Right.
But these schools they're just freaking prisons, and they don't even have to be locked down to be prisons.
Yeah.
The curriculum is bullshit. The amount of time these kids are in a closed up building with artificial light and air is bullshit. The teachers are teaching them their own personal opinions, which generally is bullshit. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Our youth has been stolen from us, which literally means that our future has been stolen from us. And somebody has to go back for it. Like, someone's got to hit a button.
Right.
Seriously.
And that's something with my son that kind of scares me right now is, well, it's not really a fear. I don't want him to fuck up him being done in December, but he's like that. He's like, I go in, I do my work, I'm done. Do I have to sit there and listen to the teacher's bullshit and then bitching and complaining about stuff? Do I have to sit in that fucking room? I'm like, unfortunately, right now, son, you do at school. I can't tell the teacher to shut their fucking face. I mean,
right. And that's the bad thing is they're learning more of political opinionated bullshit than they are any kind of curriculum that helps them do anything.
Right. That's
right.
It's
just stop. That's not your place. The gender stuff in school now and all this. Oh my God. I read some of the pamphlets that they're trying to implement in schools, and they already have them like over in Europe, and they're trying to bring them here. And I'm like, man, I thought it was bad when I pulled my kids.
Right.
Now they're trying to teach that bestiality is acceptable and having sexual attraction to objects is acceptable and all this shit. And I'm like, really? Could you Sodom and Gomorrah our children any more than you already have?
Right. And
you want to be gay, be gay. I don't judge you. That's between you and your God. But the rest of it, keep the hell out of my schools.
Exactly.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I ain't doing it.
Deborah, that is a good idea to vote in your